Welcome to Coffee and Cannabis. I'm your host, Alyza, and this is
Corey, what up?
And today is Dab Day. What up?
Yeah, 710.
We have a dope gentleman here today by the name of Clyde. He is a lab extraction manager for a major MSO, and this guy is basically who makes all the things that y'all are going to enjoy today on Dab Day. All the concentrates, right?
Thanks so much for having me, Alyza.
Yeah,
I'm really excited to talk concentrates.
Yes.
Real excited.
No, listen, he's super hype. This is gonna be great because we never get to really talk like the science of weed, and everybody just thinks everybody's just walking around high, right? But this is it's science.
It's much deeper than that, right?
It's much deeper than that. So before we get started, for coffee. Easy day, local bodega. We are in serious under construction right now. So it's sort of get it how we live right now. There we go. But we also don't have any flour because today is going to be dedicated fully and solely to concentrates only. So pray for us.
Well, a little bit. You have your fake bubbler there.
Oh, yes, because
I wanted to make you do something different.
My boo Corey got me this. It's like half a hookah, half an out, like because at the end. But this part right here, yeah. Everything we're gonna do live demos of everything today. We have this rig, we got some vapes, we got the whole shebang. This is gonna be a fun episode because, as you guys know, Corey and I like the extracts is not our thing, but we're fucking with it. It's that day.
Most of the pen.
That's it.
But yeah, we're gonna try some things.
Y'all are gonna learn.
All right. But before we do that, I want to know a little bit about you. Like, this is a really cool job to have. And a lot of people out there feel like, I want to fucking have a weed hat, tie-dye, chill, great vibe, like, and be able to smoke weed. And then, but also like work. Like, that's an incredible job to have. How did you even get into this?
It's been a trip, but I mean, I have quite a bit of a foundation in, the sciences, quite a bit of background there. So the learning curve was a little bit easier for myself, but that's not to say I haven't learned a lot from those who, didn't come from academics. Mm-hmm. But, after schooling, I just got called to go out to Portland, Oregon, and kind of started my journey out there. Since then, I've been all around the country setting up laboratories, working for different companies, and finally found myself back in Jersey,
So you're originally you're here from Jersey?
Yes.
Okay. South, Central, North?
Central
Jersey. Okay. So let's go back to the schooling part because all right, so I'm assuming that you were in college, right? But you weren't in cannabis before you went to college.
So I've been alive, I've been smoking weed for a good portion of my life. I
don't mean as a consumer.
Hey, listen, I've been smoking since 14.
But it's like, so I've seen the potential of it, from just an anecdotal standpoint and just, just being an advocate I've, suffered the consequences of, back in the prohibition days, back before, we were recreational, and I've been arrested for cannabis. I'm not ashamed to talk about that. But times are changing. People are warming up to it, and things are good.
Do you want to share more about that experience? Do you feel like it impacted you at all, like having that charge on your record?
A little bit. It helped give a little bit more, drive behind my mission. It kind of just when I decided to follow the path of more natural medicines than traditional medicine and pharmaceuticals, it kind of just, really just all fell together.
Okay.
And Clyde has a master's degree.
Yeah.
You think, you could be highly educated and do this.
Okay.
I try to keep it fun, It's like at the same time, you got to be, Yeah. You got to keep it fun.
Well, listen, that's what we talk about a lot here is like having a job or career or a dream that's like you could be you. Like that you could show up as your authentic self every day and still get to enjoy something that you love so much.
And that's right.
Yeah, functional weed smokers.
Right.
Yeah. So tell me, you have this master's degree. What was your bachelor's degree in?
Biology. Bachelor's of Science in Biology, and I have a Master's of Biomedical Science with a concentration in pharmacology.
Wow. Okay. Now tell me about that. Like you go in and you're doing your bachelor's, your undergrad, and you're like, I'm going to go. What made you say biology?
So, I mean, I've always been a nerd. I've always loved the sciences. So it really just, after undergrad, I didn't really have a direction. So, I mean, like I said, I've kind of just been going with the flow. Cannabis was ultimately where I ended up. But I wanted to learn more. I kind of just wanted to keep building that foundation. So that's what led me to grad school. Wanted to get on the research train, you know, see what kind of see what kind of directions I can go in and just learn more. So that's what brought me to the school. But
do you have any interest on that front? Like being able to maybe get your doctorate in, I don't know, pharmacology or even cannabis science, if that becomes a option?
I do.
And do some more research?
I've entertained the idea of getting my PhD quite a bit, and you know, even maybe going to med school. But you know, it's all of that's such a commitment, and you don't necessarily need to do that to get involved, but it takes things to the next level.
And he has bad experience with doctors in the cannabis space.
Yeah, that's right.
When cannabis hires people that have a doctorate, and they're like, oh, they're Dr. So-and-so, and they're over this. But they have no actual experience in this. They have a piece of paper that says they know about stuff, but they've never done the work. The difference with our good buddy Clyde here is he's been Portland, Ohio, Maryland, Jersey, doing the work, running different extraction setups. You know, ethanol,
hydrocarbon, we ran ethanol,
solventless.
hydrocarbon, CO2, solventless.
You've ran it all.
There's a lot of ways to, you know, come up with the end product. There's a lot of good, you know, concentrate products out there.
Yeah, so we have to get into the different ways, the solventless, with solvents. Hold on. I do have one question here because, all right, I want you to start breaking down some of this science for me. So let's let this roll into other questions that I know are going to pop up. First things first, what are some innovative techniques that are used to remove unwanted impurities during the extraction process?
It's a pretty technical question, but I like it. So,
he's fired up. I love it.
There are a couple ways to go about removing impurities. Depends on the extraction method. A pretty popular one is removing, you know, any sort of unwanted particulate or, you know, just plant matter to keep that out of your end product. So we typically use different micron-sized filters, which usually traps all that material behind. On top of that, there are some remediation techniques, things like medias such as silica or activated carbon that remove color impurities and other, you know, unwanted or, you know, things that kind of spoil the taste of your concentrates quite a bit.
Okay. First off, like, comment, and subscribe because he's dropping some gems.
Press the button.
Yeah, this is going to be too good. Like, I mean, he's giving all the game away. So now every day you show up to work, and what does that look like?
Our facility is pretty large. Right now we're upwards of 30 some employees. Kind of just, we come in, we do a meeting where everyone kind of discusses the plan for today so everyone knows what to look forward to. My duty is making sure operations go smoothly, tending to any, you know, sort of machine troubleshooting, making sure all lab operations go smoothly, the kitchen, packaging department, while tending to, you know, corporate matters, meetings, and whatnot.
Right.
Being bugged by people like
the unfun stuff, but yeah.
So tell me about that when we talk about leadership, right? So you get to show up as yourself, but then you get to do the unfun stuff that you don't necessarily, right? You want to really do the work. You want to be actively doing something, but you have a degree, you've been in this industry for a long time, so of course you're going to be a leader. How do you manage that? How do you manage leading others, but also staying connected to the work?
Well, like Corey sort of referenced to before, I mean, it's like I put in my time as a technician. I ran those machines day to day for quite some time, so I really understand what people are doing on the ground level. So when it comes to, you know, supervising and making those more just larger decisions or more like chess game type decisions versus just operational type things. It's just kind of what I've seen.
Okay.
Clyde also does training and all that, so he's trained. We used to work for the same company, but he trained all the operators on how to run everything from solventless, hydrocarbon, short path, distillate,
right.
all that. Yeah,
it's like you see eye to eye with all of your operators at that point, because you've been in their spots before, right. And you've seen, and along the way I've picked up the traits of managers that I've liked, and kind of stayed away from the ones I've disliked, seen what works and what hasn't worked. So
right.
Throughout those experiences, you make the best decisions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that professional development and taking those experiences away. That's dope. So how many do you lead right now? What's your team look like?
30-something people.
30-something people. Okay. And so I'm thinking factory setting, right? What are no? Doesn't look like a factory?
More lab, kitchen.
Okay. I was gonna ask, what are the names of the equipment? Like you say, the operators and the machines. What are the name of the equipment that you'll see in there?
There's so many different layouts, right? Like, I mean, we say that a lab or a processing facility could exist in a warehouse. It could be more of a laboratory-looking setting. It could look like a kitchen. It could look like just a drop ceiling room sort of thing. There's a lot of ways. Depending on how the facility needs to be designed, there's a lot of ways to go about it. But like in the kitchen, a lot of standard cooking equipment. For extracting, I mean, we have the extraction machines. We have a lot of post-press, a lot of glassware, a lot of glass.
A lot of glassware that people break and drop.
A lot of, But those are just, obstacles that you got to come deal with. But yeah, you got all the extraction equipment, you have all the post-processing equipment, and that's really with from process to process, those are all unique pieces of equipment. But
and what is every different piece of equipment used for? Like what sort of method?
So, for example, the ethanol extractor that kind of agitates your biomass in the ethanol, and then you get a tincture as a result of that. That tincture, then you will recycle that ethanol, you'll recover it. You're left with a concentrated crude oil, which typically then goes through distillation, and that will get you a distillate, which is typically used in edibles or into vape pens.
Okay.
So that's just one stream of extraction.
That's your standard cannabis vape pen, though. To be clear, just from different from
there's
these other ones.
There's a lot of, like I said before, it gets pretty deep. There's a lot of ways to design these products, and a lot of ways to come out with these end products that all just have slightly different iterations, but hydrocarbon, you extract. Again, it goes into an extractor, you put it through the solvent, you get a crude concentrate, which then needs to be purged. You need to get the solvent out. A lot of these processes use a solvent, and the end goal of the extractor is to do their job to remove all of that solvent to the allowable limits set forth by the state, to be compliant and to sell that concentrate, ensure that it's clean, it's been, and follows all those guidelines.
Is there any impact that solvent can have to people?
Depending on the solvent, yes.
Headache.
Yeah.
All y'all pulling vape pens and getting headaches probably got a good bit of solvent left in that.
All right.
Yeah.
So this is important to talk about, because when we discuss buying things on the black market, or things that are not regulated, it's just as simple as it not being cleaned well enough, then you can get a headache.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to be the difference between quality versus somebody not knowing what they're doing.
Mm-hmm. There's a couple things with that you can look at. Some of that is color, but color can be remediated and adjusted.
Okay.
But if you have a really dark, a vape, and it's really, really dark, usually probably some level of impurity in it. Mm-hmm. But then, simple things if you're getting a natural gas, I don't even know how to say, taste or smell kind of.
Any experienced cannabis user would, know something's
it's
off.
weird. It's the propane taste.
And we're calling it a headache, but just like something doesn't feel right, it doesn't like sit well with you. It's usually a sign. It's like the vape carts, I would say. I mean, especially with the vape carts now, they have the synthetic cannabinoids and they have the Delta 8 cartridges that are just totally unregulated. Those don't get tested. Those could have all sorts of different chemicals or oils or fillers in there, and we don't know.
What's the deal there that everybody's always concerned with Delta 8?
It's just that the process to make Delta 8 is not necessarily dirty. It has again, it's just like not a regulated process. And some time ago, I believe the DEA said that anything synthesized from CBD was good to go, as long as it's not THC, like the scheduled substance. So all these cannabinoids that were then synthesized from CBD, like Delta 8, not Delta 9, were then able to be sold. But like all these things were just being made in kind of garages, warehouses, this and that. So again, like, is there clean Delta 8 out there? Yeah. Just again, you got to know your source. You got to make sure that COAs, certificates of analysis, ask for, ask to see the product, ask for transparency.
Yeah. Delta 8 personally always gives me a headache. So
it's
not a surprise.
Yeah. So solventless is now a big conversation, and Corey, he was talking big shit one day on an episode about his solventless. He's very excited by that.
I was proud of Clyde's work. I'm smoking it right now.
But this is something that is a big conversation right now because the world is going in a healthier direction. People are more conscious about what they're consuming. So can you just explain the difference of what the solventless is and why that's sort of a big deal?
The reason why solventless is appealing to so many people is because the process doesn't use those solvents. It uses ice water, or it can actually use another old school method is dry ice to just mechanically, knock off or separate the trichomes, which is basically what solventless extraction, the point is. That's the point of all extractions, but through that ice water, you isolate or break off your trichomes. Once those get dried, they then are either consumed as bubble hash or it can be consumed as rosin once it goes through a heat and pressure, and gets you the concentrate that then gets decarbed. Decarbing is putting a concentrate through a process to where it releases a CO2 group and then becomes like orally active, so you could like eat it and put it into edibles, or puts it into a state where it's going to be usable in a vape pen then, because if it's a solid concentrate, it can't go into a vape pen, so it just has to go through that process before we get them into these vapes.
So the decarbing, just so everybody understands, so it's less technical, it's basically just activating the THC, right?
Yes,
we have THCA, and then when you heat it to a certain level, it activates it, and now you can actually get high, and you drop the A. Okay, so just so you guys know, that's what that decarbing process is.
You are smoking, what strain did I just give you? London Pound Cake. Is that the live resin? Or is live rosin?
Rosin.
Yeah. All right, so he's smoking a London Pound Cake live rosin cart. This is a Tahoe Cream live rosin cart. And then we have some live resin dabs. Well, batter and a sugar. Wait some shit.
That's it. Let me hit it.
I want to see you do your little bubble.
Let's try.
My.
All right.
Smoke break.
Let's get cute.
Since I messed it up the first time, I want to see if it.
By the way, I know you see it. I know you see it.
Still too hot? Different?
Tastes good.
Oh, now it's good.
Yeah.
Because it was the torch
good.
versus the.
What strain is that?
What did I give her? Oh, that's Rainbow Sherbet.
Rainbow Sherbet.
Just straight grapefruit.
That's good.
It just smells and tastes like
That one's
grapefruit.
good.
So I do enjoy like being able to taste those terps more. Like that's a better hit.
You think that's better than smoking like in a joint?
That's a big theme of concentrates. People really like it for the flavor. it emphasizes it, concentrates that terpene profile for you, and you really get to experience it. I mean, when you burn plant matter, you're gonna have that classic weed taste no matter what. As long as you're gonna taste the flower, for its unique characteristics, but you're still always gonna get that, that weed taste. But with a concentrate, I've had some that just taste like straight candy, and it's just all natural. I have some that taste like gas or funk or cheese. And
cheese,
and it's all, but there's no no traditional weed or plant essence to it. It's just straight flavor.
Yeah. But it's potent as shit, right? It's potent as shit. So
you
but you're smoking a lower amount.
So that's what I was gonna get into, like. How can we, I guess, attract more consumers to at least try? Because this will give them a different experience, but a lot of people are weary.
Right. I could see how the whole setup gets pretty, daunting. I guess there's a lot of pieces of equipment here to use, but someone who wants to give it a go, I would highly recommend a vape cart. It's nothing. Anyone who's hit a traditional nicotine vape or something of that nature should be, and it's something that you can gauge, by the minute sort of thing, or it's like you get yourself to where you're comfortable without having to, go too far.
Let's see that pen. So I want you to just, so this is what you're describing, right?
Yeah.
So if someone was to purchase this, how would they, I mean, it already comes pre-filled, right? Mm-hmm. And then when they would smoke it, they would pull this down?
Yeah, so typically it's like you'll buy these vape cartridges that come alone, and the single units, and it's like it has a battery. These are specifically called 510 thread batteries, which is the most popular thread
that's the normal one.
For these. And
so that end piece comes in something like this. This is like what you purchased, and then that end piece it'll keep for a long time?
Yep, this is your battery. It should come with its own, charging port. It goes on USB, just how you charge your iPhone, one of those, blocks, something like that. It charges up. You got a light that tells you you're good to go. Just screws in right like that, and, you'll click the button to know that it's heating up. And
here you go, Alyza.
That's long. That long of a pull? You saw me looking at him. I'm like, that's long.
I wanted a long one, but
she's terrified of rosin. Watch her pull with.
Yeah.
But that's
why she was looking at your pool like, hell no.
No. You don't gotta follow my lead.
I was like, I hope he does not expect me to do that.
That's why I'm saying they're good though. It's like you get yourself where you need to be. You can just do little puffs. You don't have to, go all the way. I don't remember that, but sit with that before.
I do.
Compared to his pool, that looked like vapor. Just
that wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad. It tastes good though.
Yeah,
it tastes great.
That's really good. Have you tried that one? You've had the Tahoe.
This tastes great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How's that one? I haven't had it yet. Yeah, buddy.
Oh, that stuff's good. We got to do it. Yeah.
The kind pen.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's so good.
The lemon pound cake is really good.
So
I just got this.
It almost tastes artificial.
Resin. Please.
Rosin is rosin is referencing that solventless method to where after you isolate your bubble hash, you put it through heat and pressure.
Okay.
That is what we call rosin, that actual concentrate form that comes out of that heat and pressure process using the bubble hash extracted through ice water / the solventless. Okay. Resin is typically through hydrocarbon extraction or other extractions. The naming game gets kind of funny. It's like it's really just sometimes it just really comes down to marketing. Like at the end of the day, this is all plant resin, so we could really just call any concentrate resin. Some people rosin though is unique to that heat and pressure process. But resin, it gets used pretty freely and just gets thrown around a lot.
Which
a lot
is
of these
pet
terms
peeve
too.
of mine.
Yeah, that's why I said resin. Like we have to explain this for people because that's So, is that the difference here?
So this is a live resin pen, but it is clogged. I've had this pen for I've had this cart for 2 years.
So that's resin. Mm-hmm. All right.
Rosin.
I just want to see if I can.
I got it.
They can. They'll fool you by looking the same.
Yeah.
But only true connoisseurs can taste the difference.
Back to back.
This is rosin.
All right. Resin?
Yes.
Rosin.
Yes.
You ready? Fuck me.
And then both at the same time.
I told you that I've had that for a while.
It does supposed to be like that, right?
Usually smoother. That has sat in my car for like a year. It gets hot, it gets cold. It's been through it. This is good.
That London pound cake is real good.
Which one was one of these was a resin? What wasn't it?
Probably Tahoe cream.
No, that was a rosin. I know. Is that a resin? Is that a resin?
Oh, that one on the.
Yeah. Is that a resin?
Just hiding them around. This is the ice runs.
I know. Was it a resin?
No, it's a rosin. It's a rosin.
All right.
Yeah, see, I be only smoking rosin. I don't really do that. I just smoking rosin.
What was this like?
We were having a full conversation. You're just over there dying. That is Tahoe Cream Live Rosin.
Okay. Which one's supposed to be stronger?
Well, that's specific to the potency and all that stuff.
Oh, you can't hear
It's
me?
more about
I'm tired.
for me. This is my, and I'm not a connoisseur like that. I feel like rosin gives you more like a body high. Like I feel like when I smoke a rosin pen, like I feel it go. It's not like when you have ice cold water on a hot day, you feel it like go through your body. That's how I feel rosin is. I think for me, resin is a better distillate card in the sense like distillate can have all types of fake shit in it because people use fake terpenes and flavors.
They
and shit.
Yep, they make their own flavor profiles.
They
try to replicate strains, but
or also
it's
like
not the truth.
Some are just fruit. Like, oh, this is a strawberry vape cart. There's no like extracted plant for strawberry, right? It's just so. But I feel like live resin is your pure form of distillate. It's distillate where you know the terpenes came from the plant and are thoroughly part of that. For me, rosin is like the next step. Like rosin is like craft. It's like someone has done the work, right? And the high off of rosin, I feel it differently. For me, like I can tell which one I'm smoking, like from that. Like when I hit a rosin, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's rosin.
This was the rosin, right?
That's resin. That was resin.
I don't like this one.
It's also dumb old, so
no, but this one tastes great and it's smooth. I like this one.
Resin can be just through the
cart
nature of the process will be a lot more concentrated on flavor typically, so it might just give some just not like it's just different effects. It's really just that's the beauty of all this stuff. It's just you really get all these different kind of ways of manipulating the chemistry to get.
It's a live rosin pen also,
this one?
But it's London pound cake. I've been waiting for this episode.
These are all.
No, they're also good. All
Jalen's yelling at me because I'm almost next to the mic. I'm dying.
Live rosin, completely different strain. The taste profile is definitely different.
All right.
Now that's Tahoe cream. Bubbles is right here. I got Mr. Bubbles.
It's all good.
I got all the goodies. Yeah, see.
We'll swap them out. We'll go back to back.
This tastes outstanding.
Yeah, that's London pound cake. Live rosin.
Oh yeah, we're proud of that one.
Yeah, I'm very proud of that.
Wow.
We're proud of that one.
This is great, Jalen.
And it's sad. We literally have all this shit out here ripping and pulling stuff. Jalen has nothing. You don't even have a blunt. You don't even have a blunt lit right now, do you? Wow. Normally, sometimes y'all he'll have a little blunt, a little something on the side while he's doing it. But
can you get me one of these?
Yeah, I could just give you.
Get you right.
Well, I literally have 4 sitting here. You're not getting that one.
No, I want this flavor. This
well, you gotta wait. You're not taking my London pound cake.
This is so good. Yeah, this is it. I feel like I still taste it, like in the back of my.
I know it's my new one of my new favorite shit. You heard me yelling about London pound cake months ago. I'm like, wait till we make this.
Yeah, it's like it gives like raspberry pastry, strawberry pastry.
Yeah,
it's good.
He's like a Somali
cakey.
Notes of strawberry pastry.
No, I mean that's
where it's at.
It's good.
It's good.
It's good as fuck. I want this. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
See, they're easy. It's just like it
easy.
concentrates on the go, and that's why I really like putting out these quality pens. Or it's like you really kind of have to go the extra mile for these a little bit, but it's really a game changer. It's a lot different. It's like you really get that experience on the go. But yeah, traditionally this has been the way.
This is the way.
That has been the traditional way. Yeah.
So this is intense, right? It could be intimidating for someone.
Just so you know, if you get this New Jersey, Clyde made that shit.
Yes.
It's fine.
Yep.
I did. I'm
He's
pretty
the man.
proud of it.
Listen, when the Reddit bros don't kill you,
Yeah.
you all right.
Yep.
Because Reddit was ready to murk you on this.
Yeah, and they didn't really have shit to say.
They didn't have too much. They only like, it's expensive. Well, yeah, it's legal. You got to pay some bills for the building. But
Yep.
Welcome to legal markets.
Yeah, welcome to the legal market.
I don't set the prices. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But he's making that fire, so you're getting your money's
it's quality.
worth.
It's money's worth.
Yep. Absolutely. That shit was outstanding. Yeah. Corey. Make it happen, bro. All right. So this could be quite intimidating for someone. So let's break this down a little bit.
Right.
Hold on. Before you go into the pieces, I want to explain. There's a very important reason why I want to explain this. It's a little left, but I'm gonna just be honest. I think Corey agrees.
Yes.
That.
And I'm just guessing what you're about to say.
In the Black and brown community, this is
known to us as.
It could be sort of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Could you get why?
It doesn't look the most inviting.
The whole crack epidemic sort of has us a little tainted.
The glass globe.
Yeah.
The torch we're going to need.
Hold on. What's
the
one we were talking about earlier? The little one hitter.
The chillums are like
for the to do a dab, but a little one hitter.
Oh yeah.
With the
aluminum
nectar collector.
Nectar collector. That shit just looks like a crack pipe. It's literally a crack pipe.
I'm trying to be nice.
It is.
It's the same mechanism of action.
It's
heat.
Yeah.
You're vaporizing. What's in front of you, but it's not crack.
So
it's weed crack.
Learning and unlearning, and we want to break a lot of stigmas. So although we sort of have that notion in the Black and brown community, but this is actually one of the best ways to consume because, like you said, you get that full flavor with the terpenes and really get an intense entourage effect, right? But many of us are intimidated to use it. So let's go step by step, piece by piece, and then we will even do a demo.
Yeah,
let's do it.
I'd love to break it down.
All right.
So this is a little bit older of a design. I'd say this mechanism is a little bit outdated, but what you got here is just this glass nail that gets heated, and you heat it with the torch. Your desired temperature range is typically between like 5 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. They have these temperature sensor devices and all sorts of contraptions nowadays, but experienced users just kind of use like a hand or like a heat test. Okay. This piece will get heated. You'll drop the dab on there, put the globe over it, and kind of just like, toggle the airflow.
Let's break it down even further. Drop the dab on there. What do you mean? What does that mean?
So,
we got some concentrates here.
Yeah.
Commonly called a dab.
Commonly called a dab. See, that's important to know because everybody thinks.
So this is a batter.
This.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is a live resin batter.
I feel like I smell it from here.
It smells.
It smells phenomenal. Wonderful.
Yeah. So that's what it means, taking a little bit of that dab.
Yep.
Yeah. So you'll.
So you scoop it. Yep.
Yeah, we got a little nail right here. They sell these little devices, usually just like titanium or quartz. You'll scoop up your dab, sort of thing. That's a little bit more of an intermediate level size dab, but something small,
okay.
for beginners. Yeah,
crazy.
You can always take more, you can't take less, sort of thing. So.
Right. Okay. So that gets dumped in here.
Yes, it'll get dumped on the bowl after it gets heated up.
So once you put it in there, it'll basically melt off.
You'll see it bubbling, you'll see it vaporizing, and then you'll throw that dome over it to kind of just encapsulate all that vapor. And then you'll have a little. Sometimes people use little marbles, or they have little devices that go over the dome, and kind of just you can use it to fluctuate the airflow. So there's some pretty crafty pieces out there. It gets pretty fun and technical. But this old design, you drop the dab in there, you'll you would cover it with your finger. You'll see the vapors condense. It'll just pull through it like your regular water pipe, and that's it.
It's like a multi-chamber hookah.
You pull right here.
Yeah. The mouthpiece.
So like a hookah, like you can pull from the hookah butt.
But even that, your little bubbler there, cute little thing, has a hole on top that you were just for the same thing. Once you got it in the vapor smoke form, you're kind of just toggling it, controlling it for yourself.
All right.
That thing's still terrifying to me.
Yes, it's intense.
Should we do it?
Clyde, if you get me fucked up, I swear.
You're doing it? Cool.
Yeah, we're gonna do it. Well, how about you do it first? You do a run so we can see, so the camera can see. There we go.
Him do it first. I thought you meant me do it first. I'm like, Jesus. No,
but you can do it.
Let him do it first, so he can give a good example.
You can put it on the table.
Yeah, that's over.
Jalen, you got it.
I do like.
So typically, you'll get the torch on there. This is a glass nail, so you have to be conscious that glass will eventually crack if you overheat it. Quartz is a lot more, heat durable. So that's why quartz is the more popular. So just kind of that. We'll get that in there.
So these come in different material? They're made with different material?
And you'll get this globe over it. Oh. I'd say, Corey, you want to give me an assist and drop that globe on there as soon as
I'm here to help.
As soon as we get it heated up. Yeah, so it gets tricky when you don't have the appropriate heating tools and whatnot. But this should.
You want to keep heating that while you get the nail ready?
So.
Oh, I see it bubbling. Yep.
Good.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
All right. So when you're smoking like a joint or a blunt or something, it's sort of like a longer session. How many times would you do that until you're like, oh, I'm fucked up?
That really depends on the individual.
Okay.
I can't speak for everyone's tolerance. Someone who's a heavy, joint or blunt smoker, this.
I know. Party foul. About to break it.
Fucked up already.
Only because working in the lab.
You're getting a big one.
Dropping glass is like a fear. So it's like this, even though it was just this, it's just like fucking dropping glass.
Did they take it out of your check? Like if somebody breaks something, do they make them pay for it? No? They just chalk it up as an L?
I would overheat it just because, the nature, it gets cold real quick. I'll got you on the globe this time.
So, Clyde, you were telling me heavy blunt smokers, like what's the equivalent?
A heavy blunt or joint smoker, they could, I think they could start off with like a dab, give it, 30 minutes or so, gauge where you're at from there, and, just keep going from there. Okay. I don't think the effects are pretty immediate.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
There he goes.
I'll be coughing. Jalen, right?
You're making me cough.
All right. We're gonna need a way bigger one for Alyza.
Yeah, that sounds.
We're gonna definitely need a bigger one for Alyza.
On opening day, I'll smoke the biggest fucking bong that you can find. All right, I'm ready.
Let's do it.
I'm ready.
So much
you guys make me do crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
In the meantime, like, comment, subscribe. Enjoy Dab Day. Shout out everybody for 710. We got our merch coming. It's going to be available on the website pretty soon.
Knows. Do you know why 710 is the day? Ready?
Actually, I don't. Teach us something.
Ready? Yeah, Corey, drop some knowledge.
Yep.
710 because if you do it upside down, it's oil, as in concentrate. It's that stupid and simple of a reason.
Wow.
Drop the globe on.
Okay. Globe. Put the thumb finger on top.
Oh, just put the globe on. No, watch your finger. Yeah.
I fucked it up.
No,
You
you
still
got
gotta
something.
hit?
No, you. Oh, watch out.
Oh, I did get something.
Yeah.
Look at her.
That wasn't that
That
bad.
wasn't that bad. He's also putting like
I was making sure not to go too crazy.
I don't even know if that was 1/10 of a gram.
I love fucking people up with dabs, but it's the first time we met, so yeah.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind.
Well, also, so that's live batter.
Okay.
We're
Yes.
smoking. Now let's switch to sugar.
Yeah, let's do the sugar.
All right. And while we do it, keep going. But let's talk about the different, Jesus Christ, the different kinds.
Jalen, you get that?
Right? There's like
That's a sugar.
wax,
Yeah,
shatter.
there's a lot of names,
right?
a lot of names
What are all the
that get
types?
thrown around. You know, you hear wax, batter, crumble, resin, rosin, sugars, diamonds.
Diamonds?
It's all.
I didn't hear that one.
It's
Sauce,
all,
I know.
Yeah,
Diamonds.
sauce, diamonds. Yeah, no, you can grow some pretty big like THCA isolate and big crystals. Yeah,
Wow.
just straight weed crystals. They exist.
Okay.
They're out there. It's mad scientist type stuff. But all of these are cannabis. It's different consistencies. It's different ways to process it to just get different textures for the most part. And just different methods will get you to, different end products. Like I said, different consistencies just through the nature of the process.
What do you think is the best one? Like of all, because even me, like I know them all and I can look at them and tell which one is what, whatever. But because I don't dab, like is there one that's better than all the rest?
It's hard to say one is better. It really depends what you're looking for. Like for example, if you have a batter, you're working with a homogeneous product. So
Okay.
everything's worked together. Each scoop should have the same amount of terpenes and cannabinoids in each dose. Whereas a sugar and sauce, those two will be separated. So with each dab, you're getting a varied experience.
Okay.
All right. Well, good. Let's do one. Mainly because I just want to make Alyza do it.
This torture I
Still have some
endure.
batter on that.
I know, but we can take it off. That was just to not kill Alyza there.
That's what y'all
Hey, we gotta talk. We can't be sleeping.
Appreciate it, guys.
No, it's like, hey, I'm here to do big dabs. So,
get you started.
I mean, I guess I can't complain. This is a pretty good job, right? I'm getting high and talking weed. I used to carry around a gun
my
in the
job's better
desert.
than
So
yours.
this is better. This is better.
Let me know when you think it's ready.
that's probably.
Is that the one right there?
probably
It does
good.
look. It does have a different
Yeah, I'm doing this.
consistency.
Yeah, see, it's got like a lot of little sugar granules in there.
Yep,
But
it actually looks
that's
like
just the
cake
weed
batter.
crystals. So just imagine those like times 100 or 1,000, like they exist.
Wow.
It's like big weed crystals, and it's all just throughout the chemical process of the recrystallization of that THCA that you
Okay.
can get different sized, stones or crystals. But yeah, popular is the sugar.
Damn. Yeah, there's some chunks.
That
Not
one's
y'all.
good. That one's good.
That was the
Said
which
not
sugar?
y'all.
What is
You-
the sugar? I think it's from that box over there. What strain was that? The
I
sugar.
think it's the Tahoe.
It's the Tahoe.
It's the Tahoe.
Actually, yeah, it's the Tahoe because that batter was the Mac Motor.
So this is lighter. The batter is lighter than the. That's wax.
That's
This is sugar.
The
Sugar.
batter
And then
is
the
whipped.
batter is like the batter has more of a waxy consistency
Okay.
versus the sugar. The sugar will be like more granular and chunky.
Okay.
All right, ready?
Are you telling me? Are you ready? That might not have been on.
Jalen, jump
Oh
up, baby.
yeah, that one was good. There we go.
You're looking like a pro, bro.
There we go.
Never
Yeah,
mind.
He's
Never
acting like
mind.
it's not.
We just knocked the whole table over. Whenever you're ready.
No,
It tasted good,
let me
though.
fix our set.
I'm sure.
Jesus.
That's funny.
yeah, that tasted great.
Yeah. Actually.
That I like felt.
comment, subscribe.
All right, Alyza.
Yep.
Let's go.
You're up.
Let's go.
Gotta
I'm
try
ready.
the sugar.
This is amping me up.
I am hot.
And high.
Yeah,
Yo,
now Corey's
710
used.
oil. That's great. That's great. Yo, fucking
Yeah, stoners think of everything.
yes, yes. The creative cannabis.
It goes back to having fun, you know.
Yes.
You gotta keep it fun. If you're not like,
Lord.
you gotta smoke weed to get it.
So many people would be better people if they did.
Yep.
Yeah, the world would be a better place.
Yep. It's a pretty simple tool too, to really, expand that.
It is. It is. So when you were in school and you were doing your master's, you said pharmacology, right?
Yep.
When were you like, no, weed is it?
I
I know you were a consumer, but what like in the professional standpoint?
Actually, just reading a lot of, just learning more and more about the body and drugs and their mechanism of action, and how just reading about side effects or reading about case studies or just seeing just how complicated things need to get. But people have been using cannabis now for since. Yeah, for a very, very long time now. And to me, nothing beats anecdotal evidence. It's like people smoke weed all day, every day. And, you have people that show me the same thing with cigarettes or alcohol. And, it doesn't exist.
Yep.
There's something magical about cannabis. And no matter which way you try to swing it, it's not harmful.
No.
It's really not.
Nope.
There's a way you can try and paint it to be, but it's not. And they're really trying to paint the wrong picture, but I'm not buying it.
I'm not.
We know better.
Some people are on the wrong side of history, man.
That's what I'm saying. But that's why it's too time sensitive. All right. There we go.
I'm getting good, baby.
Yeah.
I told you.
No.
I knew. I saw you still holding it, and I was like,
I thought you had it. I thought you had it. You were
I
like,
saw her holding it.
You get what you talking shit.
You're like, yo, I got this
I
whole
was sitting there
dab.
watching like she's about to.
Whoa.
You felt that, didn't you?
Oh, that was a serious.
Oh yeah, she's ripped. Jalen, make sure you get all this priceless footage of Alyza acknowledging in her head how high she just fucking. It's all in the eyes.
It's good though. It's not.
I deserve that.
Yay, 710.
710.
Oil.
I don't know. Like now, it makes me think like you sitting there gaming. The other dude's like, "Oh, I just ripped a big dab between the matches," and you're like, "No, how are you
My
functioning?"
friends get pissed. I'm like, dab break. They're like, Clyde, it's been 15 minutes.
You needed like a shooter game where it has time in between the matches to hit a dab.
No,
real quick.
you can't get away with that. No, exactly.
All right.
Well, I'll give you a second. The other thing is, if the glass and all that is too complicated for you, plenty of companies make different pen, electronic ones. Puffco. Who's another one besides Puffco?
Dr. Dabber is a big one.
Yeah. So plenty of companies make, whether it's a small little pen you put it in, or the Puffco Proxy that looks like some Sherlock Holmes pipe shit.
Old man, detective.
So yeah, Alyza's hot now. She gotta take her jacket off.
We call it the dab sweats.
Yeah, she's baking.
That was me earlier. I just
yeah. All right, you good?
I'm hot.
You got a lot going on, Chief.
I got a lot happening.
Yeah,
That's how it
different with the dab.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't do that every day.
Every day,
Once
trying to
you
do
get-
it like again now.
No. Yeah, Shout out to y'all, 710. Y'all the real cannabis enthusiasts.
Shout out the dabbers.
Yeah.
The dabbers are the truth.
Now
we're holding it down.
See, I feel that different. When I was the rosin pen, like I said, body. So now that's resin. I feel it all here. It's like
it is probably a little sharper, just with all the kind of like terpenes.
Yeah.
It's just like it's a little bit more concentrated on the terps for sure.
It's just weird that like with rosin and resin, I actually feel them differently, like a different kind of high.
Like, comment, and subscribe. my shoulders feel like they're like floating.
Yeah.
Clyde is so excited. He's like, I got her.
I love it. I really do. It's like I'm just making, as long as people are having fun with it, you know what I mean? It's
I feel great.
But that's no. Sometimes you give people who, like I said, it's like, you know, the joint smokers, the blunt smokers. You know, this is, you know, they're gonna get high, but it's nothing they haven't experienced before. It's the people that don't really smoke blunts, joints, or anything really, and then they're like, oh, give me a dab, and their friend gives them something, you know, crazy, and then they're just like turned off of weed forever.
But it's also that like the YouTube videos don't help it. No one puts a YouTube video up of them like hitting a little dab.
Right.
His cat's melting down 4 grams into
like a piece of
shatter, something
like
or
craft
crumble.
single, like a craft single.
Yeah, like
into it.
so the dabbers don't help it much because they're over here
Please give me one.
murking grams at a time.
Throw it.
She's going through it. You're definitely gonna hit that microphone.
Give it to me.
So, she's going through it, y'all. Telling y'all.
You guys want one?
No, I'm good right now.
I'll do one. I'll do one. Thank you.
So you know, it's just we're already kind of doing the rebranding of weed in American Dallas. Now we have to rebrand the dabbings. That it's like it's not murking a whole brick at a time. And for me, it's always the fear of that cough your lungs out after doing it. But it's because you watch all the videos, everybody doing big ass dabs, and they look like they're drooling afterwards.
You know, it's actually interesting. Like I just want to talk about. It's like when I just have a little go on a dab wave, it's like the dabs stop, you build up a tolerance of sort, right? And it's like I'll switch back to flower, and that will get me to I'm sure like how you're feeling a dab makes you feel now, because it's just like there's something about that, like we call it like an entourage effect, right? That's the easy way to throw it around, but it's there's all these different phyto compounds, which just means like plant derived compounds, like other sort of like molecule and things going on in the plant that aren't in that like concentrate where we're just kind of looking at like THC and terpenes. Like the plant itself has its own thing going on. So going back and forth, you get quite the experience. That's why I don't like to say that I like one more than the other. They both serve a purpose, and they're both their own experience.
What recommendations would you give to folks that are looking for some alternative healing for different ailments? Doesn't have to necessarily be THC derived. Anything that comes from the plant.
Anything like hemp based. It's like all just like hemp oils, lotions. I mean, like just like even just like the seed oils themselves are beneficial. Just like different cannabinoids. It's hard to say. Like there's some research being done on just individual ones and how they can help certain ailments, but they haven't really figured out the dosing yet, which is why I always kind of go back to cannabis being its own natural expression of the plant and giving you all those different cannabinoids in like the ratio that nature sort of intended.
Yeah.
So rather than just kind of like trying this dose of isolated, CBG or like, CBD, but although I do highly recommend CBD for, people, suffering from anything from, trouble sleeping or just any sort of nausea or just any sort of like inflammatory
IBS,
things. Yeah.
Pain. Yep.
Yeah.
Just any sort of mental,
I know CBN is very popular for those who are looking for an alternative for sleeping.
Sleep. It does have some sleep properties. It's like, again, the mechanisms of action aren't fully understood yet, and the dosings aren't figured out. But like if you find a CBN product, it's more than likely going to help you with sleep. And
yeah. Okay. Some people have given me recommendations. I suffer from migraines severely, and CBG I think they say is really good for migraines, but again, there's not a tremendous
CBG
amount
is
of
good
research.
for gastrointestinal
it's
issues.
more stomach.
It's good, GI tract stuff. You can remember because the G at the end is a little thing we like to say. But like I said, it's hard to say because it's like people like to say that like, you know, one cannabinoid does this or that, and it's like all these things can kind of just be like, once you understand how studies are kind of, you know, presented and how data is sort of led to, it's like, oh, this is the significant finding of this.
Right.
It's not always like, you know, the case, but like I said, it's like I like, you know, kind of referencing back to that full spectrum rather than just being like, you know, go to this one for this reason. I think it's the what is it? Is it THCV now that's being
that's the new one.
Studied for like weight loss and appetite suppression. So everyone talks about how, you know, THC, weed gives you the munchies.
Yep.
You know, it's like you're gonna smoke weed. It's like this, you know, isolated cannabinoid actually does the opposite. It, you know, will suppress appetite and, you know, have some sort of like, you know, metabolism boosting type. You know? But, you know, it's like always, you know, encourage, you know, more natural ways of, you know.
Right.
Smoke the damn plant.
Exercise.
Yeah.
Get food.
Love
and
her.
weed.
Love her. She does so many good things for you. And we've weaponized her.
All right, my
That's
dear.
my girl.
Are you good?
You look fucked up.
I'm fucked up.
Yo.
Gone. Outer space.
I feel like the water brought me back and I'm looking at you. Yo.
I'm gonna drink the water afterward. Right now, I'm Gucci.
Yeah, look out for your friends. Sometimes they just need a water. You know.
Yeah. Please, consume responsibly. Clyde, listen, I appreciate you coming through. This has been an incredible episode. It's been really fun. And I really enjoyed being able to, you know, again, have that conversation. And I know that it goes through people's minds. And, you know, whatever. We're going to have all the people on the video. It's like, oh, everything's about race, blah, blah, blah. Listen, it's a real stigma. And it's common that people feel that way. But also, we need to break that down and try to consume in different ways. Yeah, just try it. It's not bad. It was actually fun.
Appreciate you, my dude, coming.
Yeah.
Do your research too. There's a lot of good, you know, resources out there on the internet. You know, now you just search how to dab. You know, it could be that simple. It's just, they break it down step by step for you. There's good stuff.
But careful with the scoop.
Yes.
All right. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in each and every week. We will see you next time on Coffee and Cannabis. Later.
We still ain't got no outro.
Peace.
Thanks, y'all. Thank you.